I'm Grant Garcia, one of the sports and shoulder surgeons here. Today we're going to show an interesting case and video testimonial of a patient. This is a young patient, suffered a very unique injury. Unfortunately, was hit by a car, suffered a number of different injuries to their body, and came to see me for a specific injury to the shoulder. I have a shoulder model here because this is pretty complex, but basically they had broken their clavicle, and that was fixed. But what happened was there was also a coracoid fracture, which is very rare. So a fracture of this bone right here. And this bone had actually elevated and healed in a bad spot. Essentially, it basically was a non-union, so it was just floating free. And after he found out about 6 months later, or a few months later from the injury, this bone had gone up to here, and that became a very unusual case. As a matter of fact, there's only about 40 reported cases of this in the literature. And this is a very challenging surgery and challenging problem to have. He was unable to fully lift his arm up, and being under 22 years old, it becomes a very difficult situation. So what we had to go in and do is initially we had to take out the plate, put a special hook plate in there, and actually put a very small screw down the middle of this to try to get this bone to heal. And secondarily, we had to do a second surgery because you can't keep that plate in there. And so we had to take out that special hook plate and do a very innovative new reconstruction where we actually put a skin graft and a special internal brace over the AC joint to keep that down, and had to increase the size of the screw to make sure it healed. And successfully were able to get him back to whatever he wanted to do with a very, very, very improbable good outcome. And you can see he's very happy with it, and we're able to have a successful outcome. So hopefully you like the video testimonial. Thanks.
So in May 2019, I got hit by a car outside of my job that was going really fast, and I flew 35 feet through the air and landed next to the Aurora Bridge. I broke a bunch of bones and had a bunch of other impacts from the accident, and I ended up going to Harborview, and so after being released from Harborview, I felt okay. I kind of started to ease back into my regular life, and soon after noticed that I had a huge block in my range of motion for my right arm because of problems in my right shoulder. And it turned out that there was a bone inside of my right shoulder that stayed broken, that was kind of looked over by the staff at Harborview with so many other things to tend to. So then we found Dr. Garcia and talked about the rarity of this fracture and how difficult it would be to undergo or figure out. And from my impression, it seemed like there was a chance that it would work out, but in all reality, it was leaning far more towards the other direction, in that it's just a crazy break, and didn't look in my favor at that point. So initially we didn't think that this thing was going to work, and after the second surgery, however many months later, I came back in for an appointment with Dr. Garcia. I got an x-ray on my right shoulder, and he walked in the room and ecstatically said, "It worked!" and exceeded my expectations 100%, because by that point, none of us really thought that it was going to be a success. And
how do you feel now?
I feel relieved. I feel like this enormous weight is taken off my shoulders.
And what about functionally? What can you do now?
I've been swimming very often, like this whole summer, climbing, just being able to be active with my friends. Like, I can jump around and enjoy my life.